Hi, I'm Ejames Bakatan. I will be discussing socio-economic, educational, and political condition of the Philippines in the 19th century. First is socio-economic condition. Economic shift. The opening of the Suez Canal in 1869 shortened travel time between Europe and the Philippines, boosting trade. Export crops like sugar, abaca, coffee, and tobacco is became central to the economy, enriching a new class of Filipino landowners while most peasants remained poor and landless. Social stratification. Society was rigidly hierarchical. At the top were Spanish Peninsulares, followed by Insulares, then Mestizos, and at the bottom, Indians and Chinese immigrants who faced discrimination despite their economic contributions. Second is educational condition. Limited access early on. For much of the century, education was controlled by religious orders and restricted mostly to the elite Spaniards and wealthy mestizos. Basic literacy was low among the general population. Educational reforms. The educational degree of 1863 mandated the establishment of a public primary school system in every town, introducing secular education, secondary and higher education remained limited, but the opening of institutions like University of Santo Tomas and later the Ateneo Municipal allowed some illustrados to study abroad, exposing them to liberal and revolutionary ideas. Third is political condition. Colonial rule, the Philippines was governed by the Governor General appointed by the Spanish crown. The power concentrated in the hands of the Spanish officials. Local governance was often corrupt with positions sold to the highest bidder. Rise of nationalism. Abuses by colonial authorities, example the execution of Prince Gomez Burgos and Zamora in 1872, known as Gomborza, sparked widespread resentment. This combined with influence of liberal ideas from Europe fueled the growth of nationalist sentiment. Reform movement. The propaganda movement, which is led by Jose Rizal, Marcelo H. del Pilar, and others, emerged in the late 19th century, advocating for political reforms, representation in the Spanish century, and equality before the law, laying the groundwork for the Philippine Revolution of 1896. Question. How did Spanish colonial rule affect the daily lives of Filipinos in the 19th century? Filipino faced labor requiring men aged 18 to 60 to build churches, roads, and ships, often from home, disrupting farms and families. Wealthy ones paid pala to avoid it. Heavy taxes and friar owned haciendas forced peasants to pay high rents or crops, trapping them of poverty amid export crop booms that benefit elites. Tobacco monopolies and galleon trade further limited opportunities enriching Spaniards. So society stratified with Spaniard and clergy at the top, Filipino at the bottom, lacking political power as officials were appointed, fostering corruption and abuse. Friars dominated communities, education, and land disputes. Daily life revolved around church obligation, tribute payments, and subservience, sparking resentment. Catholicism permitted routines via fiestas, saints' days, and moral oversights while Spaniards' names, dress, and language spread, blending with local ways but eroding pre-colonial freedoms. Second question. Why did education play an important role in the rise of Filipino nationalism? Education fueled Filipino nationalism in the 19th century by creating the Ilustrados, a class of educated elites exposed to Enlightenment ideas, liberal reforms, and European revolutions through expanded school and travel via Suez Canal. This awareness of rights, equality, and self-governance clashed with Spanish suppression, inspiring figures like Jose Rizal to expose abuses by writing that unified disparate Filipino against colonial rule. Limited early a cost shift as reform allowed native teachers and higher learning, fostering propaganda movements demanding representation and reforms. So, last question. Which social group suffered the most during the 19th century Philippines? Explain